Shucking and jiving yet?
Not quite. Padded Room Radio is on the air. You maniacs! My name is Darian. I am back for another week of horror nonsense. I've got nothing better to do with my time, apparently, than talk to you people about horror movies and video games and books and
other nerdish delights.
Moms that are falling apart and nerdish delights. Speaking of nerdish delights, he'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. Jason Harrell is in the house.
Hello.
What's up, my man?
Oh, shucking and jiving, honky-tonking, and other various words.
Living La Vida Loca.
Yes.
Is what you're doing. Right on, man. Jason, we are besieged by smoke.
We are.
On all sides.
It went from just being hotter than blue blazes to now engulfed in smoke.
Motherfuck, man. I thought we made it out this year.
The West Coast sucks donkey dick.
It's just California, really. The son of a bitch catches on fire every year.
This entire side of the country is nothing but a mound of kindling.
It's true, but somehow Nevada manages usually to skip the giant forest fires.
So you didn't see the two blackened section of the hills behind my house a couple years ago?
That's not that's an afternoon.
Well.
That's an afternoon, sir. that happens every Thursday. That doesn't really count.
It's not a fire.
It's not a fire. It's a backyard barbecue gone wrong.
What's going on with you, man?
Not much, dude. I'm up and I'm about. I got a brand new car at work. Brand new work car.
I didn't see it in the driveway.
No, it's not. I'm not allowed to bring it home with me. But it's a 2022 Kia Sportage. It's got this new
big pimpin'.
I know, right? I can get all kinds of groceries with this.
Oh yeah.
But it's got this function where it lane corrects for you. If you start to drift, it just jerks the wheel out of your hand and puts you back.
An alcoholic dream come true.
If you don't know that that's coming, it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Because, I like to drift myself, I like to take up, some real estate on the highway. All of a sudden, the wheel's going all over the place. I'm, wrestling with it, and I rarely use a turn signal. So it doesn't know when I'm merging or not. It's like, no, you don't. Yes, I do.
Who is it to judge you?
I know, right?
Can you disable it?
I'm sure I can somehow. I haven't figured it out yet.
It would take reading.
May take some tin snips. Some jumper cables, I don't know. Right on, man. Well, Buddy is not here this week, ladies and gentlemen. He is taking a motorcycle class. He is becoming a motorcycle.
Yep.
He wants to be a motorcycle for a living.
Got the helmet with the horns on it and everything, I'm sure.
Look at him go.
The assless chaps. The whole nine.
Hanging out at the Blue Oyster Club. With Mahoney and Proctor. All right, well, we got a regular horror show to get into here, friends. We got horror news. We got listener mail. We got all kinds of things to talk about this week. We have a witch trap, Jason.
We sure do.
We had the witch board. We've graduated to the witch trap.
Yep.
Actually, I think we got demoted.
I'm curious which movie comes next.
Oh,
see what I did there?
It's good. We're going to get trapped, is what's going to happen. Horror news first, you maniac.
Horror news.
Yes, sir. What do you got for us, Jay?
One little tidbit.
I like tidbits.
A24 releases the official promo of Maxine, sequel to X,
completing the X trilogy.
Yes. Set in 1985.
Now, I watched the trailer. It doesn't show you anything.
No.
Other than...
Just a teaser.
Yeah. So I assume it's going to pick up like a couple years after X, right?
Mm-hmm. Should be about 7 years or so later. Yeah, X was set in, what, 78?
76, I thought.
Okay.
Something like that. So, yeah, about 10 years after.
Yeah, oddly enough, though, like on IMDb, you don't see anything about it being production, post-production, in production, anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, at first I thought it was just fake, but then I saw that it was actually released by A24. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd actually be really cool.
I'm into it. I got high hopes for Pearl.
I'm very hopeful.
Hopeful and optimistic and...
soon to be let down?
Let's hope not, Jason.
I hope not.
Let's hope not. Right on, man. You got anything else?
That's it, man.
Are you ready for some Strangers news?
I am.
Strangers remake trilogy announced. Who's going to direct this trifecta of whatever?
Who?
Rennie Harlan. You'll remember him from a movie called Prison in 1986.
Or I won't.
Or you won't. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, I believe.
Yeah.
You ever seen a movie called The Devil's Pass?
No.
Found footage?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Not that good. I'm not very...
So what's supposed to be the basis of this trilogy?
It's a remake. They're going to remake the first Strangers.
Okay.
They're going to tweak it a little bit. And then they're going to launch into a prequel about the killers, and then a sequel about whoever survives the first movie.
Okay.
Now, mind you, all of this can go right down the toilet if the first movie doesn't make money.
Sure, of course.
That's where we're at with that.
Yeah, I had seen the news on like a pretty quick turnaround on releasing a trilogy, but there was nothing else attached to it at all.
There's a bunch of stars attached to it. No names that we'd recognize. Bunch of like weird TV show people, you know.
Okay. I think it'd be hard to mess up a remake of the first one. I think you could actually improve on the second.
I was not a huge fan of the second. Mm-hmm. It did have, I mean, that swimming pool scene. That's like a Van Gogh or something.
Yeah, it was a really
visually.
It was visually beautiful,
appealing scene. Other than that, the movie was kind of lackluster, I thought.
Yeah, it had a really shit ending, from what I remember too.
Yeah.
I'm down. I mean, I'll definitely be checking it out.
I'll check it out. I'm not a Rennie Harlan guy. Be honest with you.
I know a lot of people are kind of hit and miss on the original Strangers. Anyway,
how can you be miss on it?
A lot of people are.
Well, fuck them.
Well, they're so put off. They're so put off by, I guess, the stupidity of the victims.
They are giant vaginas, and I wouldn't call it stupidity. I would call it just that scene where Scott Speedman is trying to put the shotgun together.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I know you've seen a picture of one, have you not?
You surely have watched a movie.
Come on. I'll check it out. I don't mean to be negative about it. I'm just not a Rennie Harlan guy, and I think there's a lot of room for error here. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Speaking of remakes, Tubi's remake of Terror Train is going to drop next month. Have you seen the original Terror Train?
I don't think so.
There's two horror films set on a train. One of them stars Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that's Night Train to Terror, or... shit. No, wait. One of them has Christopher Lee and Telly Savalas in it. I think that is Terror Train.
Who loves you, baby?
And who do you love? I think that's Terror Train. That's more of like a Lovecraftian kind of a thing.
Okay.
So if they're... I'm 90% sure that's the one that they're
Got
remaking.
Midnight Meat Train.
That's a different one. And then there's African American Meat Train, which does not need a remake.
Not a horror movie?
You don't want to touch that one. That one's perfect just the way it is.
Lots of caboose jokes, I'm sure.
I love it. Yeah, all kinds of things going on. Let's see here. What else we got? Halloween Ends coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
John Carpenter is handling the soundtrack.
Okay.
And it's going to release to independent vinyl and downloading services next month.
Cool.
I'm into it. I love me some John Carpenter music.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have like 5 of his albums. They're good to listen to when you want to not think. You know what I'm saying?
That's 24/7.
I don't like thinking. I'm not a fan.
Overrated.
Way overrated. Lastly, images are up for the Goodnight Mommy remake. Have you seen Goodnight Mommy?
Nope. At least it doesn't ring a bell.
You probably have. You probably just don't remember it. It's the two kids. Their mom is all face bandaged.
Oh, so it's actually a movie I've tried to start multiple times. I think I've mentioned it before.
Okay.
Foreign, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Americanization is coming out next month. Images are up. It looks a lot sexier. I will say that. The original, what is it, Swedish or Norwegian or whatever it was, very downplayed. Mm-hmm. She spends a lot of time in a bathrobe, and that mummy face thing.
Yeah,
you can't beat off to it. I tried. You cannot do it. You gotta really buckle down and focus if you want to squeeze one out to that. This one looks much more. It looks like she's wearing kind of a face mask. It's not like the mummy wrap that we saw in the original. It's more like a Phantom of the Opera getup.
Okay.
And some of the images had her like in a slinky nightgown kind of a thing.
Ooh.
I don't know. Maybe this time the kids are going to be in their mid-20s and they're going to be step kids.
Ooh.
Because that's a whole subgenre on X videos. Step whatever. Stepmom, stepsister.
You're really working yourself up to that squeezing one out.
I'll get there, Jason. I'm going to polish one out to Goodnight Mommy.
Luckily, you only need 30 good seconds.
That's right. It doesn't take much. I just need some goddamn privacy. All right, dudes. That's all we got on the horror news. You ready for some listener mail?
Fuck yeah.
Let's get into it.
Listener mail.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see here. Let's start things off, Jason, if we could.
We can.
In Sydney, Australia. Here comes Tim from the Horror for Dummies posse.
G'day, mate.
Subject line, Vampire Chest Burster. Hey, Darian, Buddy, Monica, and my pod boyfriend, Sexy Jason. Ooh. How is everyone this fine week? All looking great, I'm sure?
Very sexy.
Very creepy. I apologize for my lack of contact lately. It's been a very hectic few weeks, which is no excuse, I know, but hey, I'm back now. Pterodome, I'm taking the xenomorphs. It's simple. Facehuggers attack one of the brides, and boom, vampire xenomorphs. I'm going to disagree with you there, Tim. I don't think they can reproduce or gestate or whatever they do inside the human body if it's dead, right? I think you need a living host. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. All right, that's two more for the xenomorphs. Son of a bitch.
Good vote.
Well, fuck me anyway.
Technical difficulty.
Stand by. And now a technical mess.
You stand by. I'll stand hetero.
You do that, please. Okay, two more for the Xenos. If that's what you want, it's fine. I mean, if you don't want to vote logically, that's fine. Darian, are you the movie Men? I know this because I like men. Yes, he got me. I am, in fact, Men, Tim. Nailed it, bud. Don't get me started on that fucking thing. Darian, you spoke about LSD last week and how you would see zombies if you took it. I used to dabble in the old LSD from time to time, and one time I was at a nightclub having a fun time. Then next second, everyone's skin started to melt off and started turning into zombies. Now, I knew that I was on drugs, so I could control my mind and not freak out.
So did the bouncers.
I'm sure they did. And your parole officer. And could control my mind and not freak out. And to be honest, it was a blast, so I think you should get yourself a tab and settle back and enjoy the trip. Anyway, that's it for me this week. Stay beautiful, especially my sexy boyfriend, Jason.
Very sexy.
Like I said, as long as I'm with some people that can, like, wrestle me to the ground, if necessary, I'm going to lock up all the guns and all the other stuff. I do keep some high explosives here.
You
in the
better
house.
tape oven mitts to my hands because I'm going to be clawing, biting, gnashing.
You know what? I will say, if I do get crazy, give me an American Gladiator's pugil stick. I feel like I think I would be doing some damage, but I wouldn't really. I would just be pissing people off. All I'm going to do that way is scuff up the furniture, I think, and that's okay.
Gosh, did I waste too much of my life watching that shit show?
Oh, it was the best thing ever, Jason.
Well, living in the sticks, man, with 4 channels. I mean, that's it. Kind of all
that's
I had.
All you get. How hard were you for that goddamn tennis ball Gatling gun?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to mount that on the back of a truck, drive it to my high school, and just unload.
You bet.
Place. All right, let's get out to the open road. Here comes Freddie. Subject line, still listening. Hey, folks, still listening, but I tend to forget to email until the day after. Voting for the brides, I think them being dead already is the advantage, and the aliens won't really notice them. Stay safe out there. Cheers, Freddie. Right on, Freddie. Thanks for calling in. And that's 2 more for the brides. Dip, 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 doop. See, Freddie's thinking. He's using the noodle there, Jason. See that, Tim? Team? Let's get over to London, England. Here comes the horror slut. Cat is in the house. Subject line, girl power always. Evening, gents. I do hope everyone had a pleasant week. I'm on doubles again, so I haven't had I haven't had time to watch much. Terradome, I think the brides have a few advantages, mainly being dead and rather silent would make them hard to find for the xenomorphs. Not to mention, while the acid blood would hurt them, I don't think it would kill them. So the brides get my vote. About to get back to my shift. Hope everyone has a safe and healthy week. Cat. Right on, Cat. Thanks for calling in, babes. 2 more for the brides.
Jeez.
I like it. I like the way Kat thinks. I'm surprised she didn't get Men. Maybe Men hasn't reached the UK, although it should have. It's a British film.
Yeah.
All right. Well, check out Men, Kat. I think you'll like. Well,
maybe she's just trying to purge it from her memory.
It could be. She might be avoiding Men. I don't blame her. I'm not a big fan of Men myself. What I am a big fan of is the Cowboy back here in Reno, Nevada. Subject line: Titlurkers.
Yes.
Evening padded room. Hope everyone is doing well and made it in tonight. Quick note tonight as my week is already crazy with the air races this week. Yay, added traffic and idiots to the roads. Terradome, voting for me ladies. I did pick them because being dead already is an advantage, plus they're sexy and vicious. Oh, and don't forget they have wings and fly. Instant win. I do totally want a Titlurker magnet. If you have them for sale, let me know and I'll put it on my big rig when the bosses aren't looking. Back to the grind. Hope everyone has a great week. Catch you on the flip, Cowboy. Right on, Cowboy. I'm putting you down for the Brides of Dracula. And we'll see
we should get a small production run going.
Of what? Titlurker magnets? Absolutely. They're $35
various
each.
Swag.
45 if you're not in the continental United States. We got some voicemails here, Jason.
Man, I can't. Huh. You've sent something to Tim before, haven't you?
I have.
That must have cost you like $1 million in shipping.
It pretty much did. Yeah.
There's this one. Shit. What's the name of that damn movie that I made you watch?
X.
Not the something man. What the fuck is it?
Oh, The Empty Man?
The Empty Man. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, this is why I can't remember the movies I've seen.
Can't remember.
That's why I keep a database.
You probably should.
But so apparently, its only physical release actually was in Australia.
Really?
That's one of the few places that actually saw a physical release.
I could have swore I saw
here in the United States. You could get it out of a red box.
Okay,
but that's it. But it actually had a case and everything in Australia, so I was actually going to buy one.
Yeah, and
it's the cost of the DVD. Is cheaper than the cost to mail me the DVD.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They want $20 to ship one DVD.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know how much it is to ship a board game?
I can only imagine.
A lot. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was substantially more than the board game itself. Yeah. And I thought, seriously, because I ordered the board game from our friends over at Bright Light Media, and I was like, well, maybe they'll just ship it over there, and I won't have to worry about it. Right. But then it says on their website, no international shipping. So I was pretty well dicked with that. It was a sad day at the post office.
Yes,
for Darian.
My wallet whipped.
It did. Right on, man. Well, we got some voicemails to get into here, Jason. How about... Oh, shit. Let's start things off, Jason Harold, down in the funky old South.
Can't wait to get back.
Here comes the man with the plan. It's Alan from Alabama.
Padded room, what's up?
What's up, Alan?
Dirty South.
Dirty
Hope
South.
everybody's
Yes.
doing good. Terror Dome, you need the Bride of Dracula.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that they came out of the Carpathian Forest. That's an excellent black metal band.
I love it.
Check them out.
I love
They got one
Carpathian.
song they feature a saxophone in.
That's true.
Anyway, Mr. Darian, you are men.
You are
Talk
correct.
to you later. Bye.
See you, Alan.
Clearly, Alan has seen Men. I wonder what his thoughts were. Let's get down to Southern California. The man, the myth, the legend, Mad Max himself, Mr. Tom Hardy.
Heyo.
Hey-yo.
Heyo, padded room. How's my favorite degenerate?
Pretty good.
We're here.
I hope everyone is doing good.
We made it this far.
Everyone doing well there. Hey, I wanted to clear a few things up about Witchboard.
Okay.
I just got to tell you right now, I legitimately like this movie.
Sure.
I have fun with this movie. I think it's a good
I'm
flick.
glad you like it.
I recognize all the shortcomings.
There are
I
some
know
things.
it's not a good movie.
Okay.
But I got to say, I still like the flick.
That's
I still
fine.
enjoy the flick. But
I'm
I want
glad
to
you
clear
like
a
it.
few things up. You were asking about the axe wielding ghost guy.
Yes.
It's Mal Fader.
Malfader.
Mal Fader
Oh, my
is
bad.
his name,
calling
and
him Malcador.
well, in the movie, it's his name.
My bad.
And Zarabeth actually does tell Brandon about
How?
him after they perform that fake ass
The Exorcism.
fucking exorcism where.
Okay.
I don't know why, but they had to have like a pyramid of empty beer
don't
cans
know.
to verify
Why?
that the ghost had left or whatever.
It's classy.
But she actually does tell him the name Malfader.
Okay.
But she says the word, "Hey, Malfader, what's that mean?"
Okay.
And then Brandon
catch
just
that.
happens to know, "Hey, what? That's Portuguese for evil." And I mean, I know you guys are huge in Portugal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
We have a big
before all
following.
the other, Portuguese people call and say it actually does not mean evil.
It
in
does
Portuguese.
not. Oh, that's
But they
disappointing.
just let that shit stand.
Sure.
But it was, she did tell him about that,
Okay.
about Malfader. Somehow Brandon speaks Portuguese. and-
Right.
Well, you know what? It's a
so,
10.
yeah, so
I give
like
it a 10.
I said, I
that fixes
legitimately
everything.
like the flick. I know it's not a great flick. I don't like it ironically either. I enjoy watching that.
There's
flick.
nothing wrong with that.
But by the way, I got to ask. Now
Yes.
that you've watched Witchtrap,
Ha.
do you feel bad for commenting about how bad the acting was in Witchboard?
I do.
Now
actually.
that you've seen Witchtrap, you kind of feel like, fuck, man. I'm actually giving Oscars out
Yeah, you
to
should.
the acting in Witchboard when I compare it to Witchtrap.
Yes.
When you got a flick and Linnea Quigley
Is the
is
star.
the best actress in that flick, and I'm talking about Witchtrap
Actual
now,
acting, not just
you know
tits.
you got some bad acting. I'll tell you right now, if you got any questions about Witchtrap, I can answer them all too.
Okay, I've got a few.
Because again, I legitimately like that flick as well. I know it's bad.
That's
All
okay.
right, on to the regular shit here.
Sir.
So on the educating department, I'm going to go with Hush. I think I got you this time
No.
on Hush.
No.
However, you were talking about the naked man
Yeah.
running around in the beginning, and I don't remember that. I know that's something you would definitely key in on, but I did not
Absolutely.
remember that part.
There was no
I'm
naked
still going
guy
Hush is my guess
in
on
Hush.
that one. On the
GP, you knew it was coming.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
You knew it was coming, Tom Hardy. He called back.
G motherfucking
G to the motherfucker P, homeboy. G to the motherfucker
yeah.
P.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry for droning on there. Anyway, on the Terror Dome, we got the Brides and Xenomorph.
Correct.
I got to go with the Xenomorph.
Okay.
Good man.
I fly. You know what? I got to go with the Xenomorphs. I just think they'll be able to tear up the Brides. The Brides are powerful, but they're not Dracula. So
True. That's
give me
true.
the Xenomorphs. That's
got it.
my logic.
Okay.
I did get to catch something on the What Are You Looking At department.
What do you got?
And I watched Urban Legend.
The original.
And I don't know the last time you've seen that flick. But,
I remember.
Been a
man,
minute.
you want to talk about
Like
bad fucking acting? But here's the thing that blows my mind is like, fucking, it's so bad, but like everybody in that flick
Had
had a
huge
career.
Yeah.
Like afterwards.
Big
This
ones.
wasn't like their swan song, and it's like, now that you're fucking done, man, after that bullshit. That acting fucking sucks.
Okay.
And those guys got to have been paid more than Witchford
sure.
and Witchtrap combined.
Well,
And I got to be honest with you, I remember seeing the flick and being like, yeah, it's a Scream ripoff, you
It
know,
is.
but whatever.
That's
you know,
what
a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
things
say,
are
yeah.
at that era. But this is actually, it's an I Know What You Did Last Summer ripoff, which is even funnier. But I got to be honest with you, I watched it. Yeah, it's not very good. It's worse than I remember. This is one that's worse than I remember.
that's quite possible.
Kind of a masochistic guy that I am, I said, well, fuck it.
Now you
know, there's
you're in.
Urban Legend 2
Two.
and Urban
Nice.
Legend 3. And I'd never seen the third one, but I watched the second one, and I must have blocked that out because I remember damn near nothing about it.
Yeah, I don't.
What a fucking piece of shit that was. One of my all-time favorite things, though, is in Urban Legend 2.
Okay.
They start talking about, hey, there's this urban legend. Urban legends are happening here. And then they say, hey, have you ever heard about the UL that happened where the guy ate like a Kentucky Fried Chicken? It's really a fucking mouse or some shit. And they said like UL, like, man, people are going to be so fucking into this shit.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to like start
ULs.
creating shorthand right now. I'm on. You heard about that
UL.
UL because this movie is so fucking awesome. People are going to be talking about urban legends. They're just going to be calling them.
UL.
Like, man, that fucking cracked me up. Anyway,
Stupid.
about the third urban legend, though, very similar to the third I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Okay.
in that it's got nothing to do with the previous two flicks,
Huh.
but it goes fucking supernatural, and there's like a ghost.
I was
going
gonna
to
say,
just like
I could have
I Know What
swore
You Did Last Summer, Part 3 did.
one of them had Bloody Mary.
It's
in
now
it.
like a supernatural thing,
Sure.
and
Oh, snap.
Yep, and GP'd again. He did not call back this time. Yeah, I remember one of the urban legends went like Bloody Mary or something like that.
It's been years
I never
since I've seen that.
I never
that-
saw
that
past the
series.
first one. I only watched the first one, and that
I
was
think
it.
I watched 1 and 2. I don't even know if I knew there was a third.
It was clearly a Scream ripoff. You know, it's what and I Know What You Did Last Summer was a Scream ripoff, but I think it was a little bit better in my humble opinion. What they did was they had all these CW teen dramas.
Yep.
And they just scooped up like the top 3 or 5 actors from
They
each one.
did.
And then threw them into a meat grinder.
Yep.
And then put in some underlying love story about, you know, he's cheating on her and blah, blah, blah. And then that was pretty much the formula from 1996 to 2001-ish. And that's where you got your I Know What You Did Last Summer. You got your urban legends.
I'll still take most of those types of movies over the bulk of the Scream franchise. With the exception of the first one, because I just, again, beating a dead horse here. I just feel like Scream is always the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
At least the other ones kind of mix the stories up a little bit.
I don't remember anything about any of the other movie sequels, except I think Jack Black showed up in one of the I Know What You Did Last Summers. It was with Brandy, I think.
Oh boy!
I think he was in one of. He showed up there, and that's it.
That's what you want in your horror movie,
Jack Black and Brandy.
right?
That's all you need, really, right? I couldn't tell you. I don't know that I'm ever going to watch. I'll probably watch Scream again, the first one, and if they put out another one, I'll probably.
Yeah, I'll watch sequels.
Yeah.
I'll continue to watch sequels, but I doubt I'll ever revisit the franchise with the exception of the first.
I might do a deep dive on I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think there's only 3 of them, so it's not like a huge deal. Same thing with Urban Legends, if I really wanted to go down that rabbit hole. Either way, man.
I like a lot of those kind of trash 90s teen high school
skanky
type
kinda
horror movies.
Only thing I remember about Urban
Like
Legends.
The Faculty.
Faculty's a good one. Was it Disturbing Behavior?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Danielle Harris played a right slut in Urban Legends. And she was like all coked up and gothed out. And that was pretty hot.
all you need right
that
there.
That was pretty hot, Jason Harrell. For our heterosexual listeners. All right, man, that's all we got on the listener mail. You got anything for Tom Hardy, Alan, the horror slut, Freddie, Tim, or the Cowboy.
Thanks for all the communiques.
Absolutely. Love you guys. You know that. Stay tuned for Tit Lurker Magnets, possibly, and other padded room swag. I have to warn you guys, though. I was given the direct order to get rid of all the porn. So the porn is gone. I kept a few of my favorites.
About time.
She doesn't know about it. But by and large...
there is this thing called the internet.
There
right?
is, and that's what I'm saying. Why did Monica bring me giant vats of pornography?
Because she discovered the internet.
Because she didn't want them at her house. So she thought, I'll take them over to this nutsack.
All of her VCRs kept getting bound up.
That's nasty. That is nasty.
The lasers in her DVD players are just coated.
I wonder if you could find Laserdisc porn somewhere.
Ooh.
Was that ever a thing?
It had to be, right?
It had to be. But, I mean, Laserdisc only lasted, 2 years tops?
No, much longer.
Did it?
Yeah.
It was hard to find. Hard to get a hold of. And I imagine, how embarrassing would that be? Walking out of the porno shop with a giant... I got my Debbie Does Dallas manhole cover here.
Woo! Suddenly life has new meaning.
I can't wait to get this home. All right, Jason, you ready for some Witchtrap?
Boy, am I ever.
Oh, boy.
From the writer and director of the classic horror film and box office smash, Witchboard.
Avery Lauder was more than just a psychic. He was an extremely powerful warlock.
You mean a witch?
Yes. The police found his body on this very altar. His chest carved open. Burning candles everywhere. Neither his killer nor his heart were ever found.
Something evil is about to happen.
Ginger, I have a bad feeling about this one.
Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
And nothing that exists in this world can stop it.
You're gonna have to go for the cops. Now.
Because it is not from this world. It lives only so that we may die. It thrives on human fear. It has powers we can never fathom, and when it strikes, there is no doubt that it is real.
Whitney, snap out of it! Oh no! Oh
no! You can't stop him! He'll rise from the ashes like a phoenix to destroy you! Yeah! Ever heard of my boy?
Fear him. Obey him. Worship him. He is among us, and he has the powers of hell on earth.
What happened? Is it over?
Yeah. I tracked him with me. Looks like Dr. Goldberg was right after all, huh?
No! It's not gonna hold him.
You are about to be caught in a witch trap. Come in. There's already someone inside. Witchtrap, starring Linnea Quigley.
That's right, Jason Harrell. It is Witchtrap from 1989.
It sure is.
Written and directed by Kevin Tenney. This one got 4.6 stars on IMDb. That's only 1.3 stars better than President Evil, mind you. Excuse me. It stars Kathleen Bailey, Judy Tatum, and Rob Zappel.
Ooh. You mean the Rob Zappel?
Rob Zappel.
That's Mr. and Mrs. Zappel's son, right?
Professor Zappel, I believe, is his official title. Oh, dude. So this one was made in 1989. So the chronology of these movies...
It really seems earlier.
Much earlier,
yeah.
Right? But it goes Witchboard, Night of the Demons, Witchtrap. And really the apex of that, in my opinion, is Night of the Demons. We'll get to that next week. This is like a dire nosedive after Night of the Demons, if you ask me. This is bad on various levels.
All right.
And I know there are people out there that enjoy it, and that's fine. It did have some redeeming qualities, mainly nipples, which we got to see the couple sets of.
Some full frontal nudity in there.
Full frontal in there, Jason. So we're going to start off in... There's a lot going on.
This movie, I'll start out by saying, for a horror movie, this has more one-liners and sick burns or attempts at than any other horror movie I've ever known.
I felt like somebody told the Asian guy to just do his best Bill Murray impression, and it just didn't work. I mean, like, the writing was there, but it just was, he just came off dicky to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas Bill Murray is like, this guy's giving people a hard time. This guy felt like a cock.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. All right, anyway, we start. So one of my main gripes about this movie is that the whole thing takes place basically in one afternoon, right? And it's like 90% of the movie happens in broad daylight.
Yeah, it does happen pretty quick.
Which is bizarre to me. Why would you not use the nighttime? All right, anyway, we start off in the middle of the day.
You mean in filming?
Yeah.
Because that takes additional
and
equipment,
and
additional money,
I get that.
And the ability to actually use the equipment.
You're right. There is that. There is that. We start off in a very old, creepy house.
Very creepy.
Very creepy. Where we have the, I guess at this point, the trademark floating cam of Kevin Tenney flying around the house. And it's chasing around the sound, the background sounds.
There's a lawnmower loose in the house.
Are my dogs okay? Because I feel like one of them has gas.
It's like they ripped off the soundtrack to Blood Beat.
That's what it is. Anyway, it's the floating cam, and it's chasing some guy around. And the guy that we're chasing around, he's wearing like a jazzy tuxedo. He looks like he just got booed off the stage at your senior prom.
Yeah.
He's got like a frilly tux with like sequins on it. And off the bat, I'm thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And he gets chased around by the cam, and then eventually he throws himself out the window.
Yeah, so I
know where you're going.
Smashes through the window.
Correct.
The balcony bar is so high that physically anybody running into it would just be stopped.
Of course.
But he heaves himself over it.
Hurdles it.
Splats on the ground.
Now,
and then all of that blood.
But the funny part about it is that you can plainly see that the blood is pouring in from off screen.
Yeah, like a foot and a half above his head.
And then it just
trickles at the top of a hill.
I suspect there was a previous person that fell, and that was the bleeder. Off camera. For some reason, we're not allowed to see that guy. Maybe that was his backup singer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that blood. Yeah, within the first couple of minutes, I mean, we already had comedy gold.
Oh, I'm watching this going, oh, no. Oh, no. From there, we're going to cut to a topless young lady reading a book in a bathtub. She looks a lot like your mom's best friend. I don't know why we had to have her topless. It wasn't. I get it. You got to have tits in a horror.
That was an unnecessary breast.
And they were
as much of a tit lurker as we are. That was just an unnecessary boob.
I mean, probably like a 13-year-old Darian could pull one off to that. These days, not with the surgical enhancements that we have these days. She's reading a paperback novel in her bathtub. Boobs out. Phone rings. Her husband comes and gets her out of the bathtub. And then she basically this is where we kind of catch up to the story here. She is the head of a paranormal research project, and her name is Judith, and she is wanting to get into that particular house with a team of psychics to conduct paranormal research and scientific discovery, and it has to be that house because that is like the most haunted house in the world, at least
this week,
and in this particular town that they live in. And the owner has declined up until this phone call when Sexual Chocolate, or whatever his name was, jumped out of the balcony there. So the owner gets her on the phone, and he's like, hey, and she's like, am I to assume that this phone call means that you've reconsidered my offer? And he's like, yes, assemble your team immediately. And she's like, okay, and then hangs up. Now, I know you want to think that I'm paraphrasing this, but that is the style of acting that we get throughout the entire film. With the exception of Linnea Quigley, who puts on a decent performance, Hal Halvins, who shows up, he only has like one line. And the rest of the time he's just like running around chasing people with guns and stuff. Everybody else is pretty much just monotone, dead flat. Even when they're like supposed to be scared for their life, no emotion. Where did you find these people? Jason, where did you find these? I hold you responsible.
Sorry.
I mean, surely they know what emotions are, right? I don't know. Maybe they were all like on Quaaludes or something, but
I mean, the acting, especially the main psychic chick, the one that with her tit out in the bathtub.
Yes.
Man, is she terrible.
Just completely flat.
Yeah, even like Sarah wasn't watching this movie at all, but she's lurking around in the kitchen and said that it sounded like it was all like an overdub.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, like the audio just seemed like off, and I think it was just the odd delivery of all of the acting that made it just sound off.
No inflection at all. It's like they are dyslexic and they're trying to read the script to you. You know? Mm-hmm. Oh no! Look out for the. Oh no! We need to find his ashes. You know? God, it's this.
We are all going to perish.
This might have been a little. Well, I mean, it would have been better with like acting, but God damn, man! I mean, that really is distracting to me. It was distracting to me, Jason. It took me. Not that I was ever really invested in the movie, but if I was, it would have pulled me out even further.
I mean, was it Levi? Is he the black guy?
Yeah, Jackson.
Okay. I mean, at least he had like, I don't know, he kind of jazzed up his dialogue a little bit.
He was another good one.
Man, I got 5 kids to feed.
He was a good one. When the husband went into possessed mode, that was all right.
Oh boy, was it real?
I mean, in comparison, yeah, I felt like that was something better than nothing. All right, anyway, so she has to assemble her team of psychics.
News team assemble.
We're right here. So the first person she goes to is a hot redhead jogging in the park in that 80s little crop top thing. With
I was really expecting a knocker to fall out of that thing.
It looked like, later on, it looks like we're gonna, but then it never happens. Yep. She is apparently what we're going to refer to, for the purposes of this movie, a physical medium. Mm-hmm. So she can let spirits inhabit her body. And she's like, hey, I need you to come with me on this. And she's like, no, I can't. My thing is a curse. And she's like, no, it's a gift from God. God says you had to use it. And she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll come with you then.
There you go.
And that's pretty much how that conversation went. And so she signs on to the team. Apparently, Judith's husband, Felix, is a mental medium.
Which I thought was just an insult at first.
He's a mental dwarf, is what he is. No, he's a mental medium, which means that spirits can speak through him. Of course, he has to go because his wife is going. And that's that. Now we get to meet the owner of the property, who is played by Kevin Tenney himself, the writer and director of this film. Now, I get it. Kevin Tenney is not an actor, but he should have some idea of how he wants this to look, right? He gets them together along with a quote-unquote security team, and he's like, I wanted to rent this property as a bed and breakfast because haunted bed and breakfasts do a lot of business in New Orleans, and now I need you to go in there and verify that the place is haunted. I can't have you in there alone because the last guy jumped out of a window, so I'm assigning a security team to go with you. Meet white guy, black guy, and Mexican. They're going to go with you. Thank you very much, and enjoy your stay. And that's pretty much how the briefing goes.
You could always just have a B&B that claims to be haunted.
Sure.
You don't need to validate it.
No, not at all.
You'll do fine.
See, that's what I wanted to do. There's a house in South Reno where there was a quadruple murder-suicide. Now, unfortunately, it's not like anywhere near like Lake Tahoe or anything like that. It's just kind of in the middle of a pretty run-of-the-mill neighborhood. But if we bought it and then Airbnb'd it and didn't like advertise that it was haunted or anything like that, but just said, house with history or
the Reno
like
Murder House.
The Reno Murder House, bro. That thing would be fucking... the paranormal dorks would be in there every night.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, that's in bad taste.
You'd have Zach Baggins knocking on your door in no time.
Hey, man, I'm going to pick a fight with those ghosts.
Have you seen any bigger glasses?
Because I'm going to fight them. Anyway, so that's what they're going to do. They have this 3-man security team that is going to go with them. The owner of the security firm is a guy named Murphy. Again, complete flat acting. There's a black guy named Jackson. He's pretty cool. And then we have what is supposed to be a Mexican, but he's clearly Asian, Jason.
Yeah, but when you look him up on IMDb, he's very much a white dude.
You think so? What's his name?
James Quinn.
Oh, fuck. He looks Asian.
He looked very Asian in that movie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at the picture here.
He looks like an old Asian.
I don't know.
You'll recognize him from last week's movie. He was the guy that got smashed under the drywall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What did he say? No, because then you come back and haunt me and flap my tires and stuff. And then, boom, he's dead.
That guy, huh?
Yeah, same guy. And oddly enough...
I mean, he seemed very white in that movie.
You think so?
Yes.
He strikes me as... apparently, he is white.
But in this, he came off as very Asian.
He's supposed to be Mexican.
Yeah.
His last name is Vicente.
Why can't we just stop seeing color?
I know.
I mean, come on. Look at the cheese. We're disgusting.
Well, come on, man. You got an Asian playing a Mexican. I didn't make this decision. Somebody else did. Anyway, his name is Vicente, and he's like their ace in the hole. He's like brings in all, because he was at one point a hotshot detective in the local PD, and he solved some 20-year-old cold case. And basically, because his name is on the firm, 90% of their business comes in because they want this particular guy on the case to solve whatever. So that they're all the paranormal team is all pissed off because they have these security dudes. The security dudes are all pissed off because they think this is bullshit and a waste of time, even though they are getting paid for it.
Yeah, what do you care?
I know. I would love to. do. Sure, I'll go protect the.
It's nothing.
The dorks. Yeah.
Yeah, this is bullshit. We're going to go and just sit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And get paid
Sign
for
me
it.
up. That's the bulk of my career.
So now it's showtime. Jax, that we meet the paranormal team. There's one other person. It's Linnea Quigley, who is playing a video expert.
Yeah.
You can tell she's a video expert because she had on for 1 second one of those tactical vests with all the pockets.
Oh, I don't remember wearing that.
That says to me, video expert. I guess. I don't know. And the black guy from the security team is destined to bang her. He's going to definitely put some effort into that.
She's not opposed to it.
She's not, but I mean, I'm pretty sure she was going to do at least 3 of the dudes there before the night was over.
Including the ghost.
Probably, and the weird groundskeeper that we're going to get to in a second. So they get to the house, and they're ready to start their investigation. They get to pooping around. They want Vicente to do like a sweep of the property and secure the area, make sure there's nobody else in there first. So he gets out and walking around. The redhead decides to go with him. And naturally, the first thing they discover up in the attic is a satanic chapel with inverted crosses and stuff like that.
Yep. And
the redhead is like, there's a lot of strange things going on here. I don't know if we should be here. This is probably a bad idea. I think we should all leave right now. And Vicente's like,
well, those psychic powers are really kicking in.
Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say. Downstairs.
I also liked how like that was where some dude had supposedly like killed himself.
So,
but the knife is still just like flopped down on the altar.
There's just a knife there. So if I'm remembering correctly, and it's very hard to focus on this movie. The father of the current owner was a guy named Avery Lauder, and he was some kind of a stage magician. but the rumor was that he was also a serial killer and some kind of a necromancer.
Sure.
And he was about to be arrested for all these serial killings. Cops went to arrest him, and then when they got to his house, they found that he had been killed, and his own heart had been removed, and they ruled it as suicide.
Makes sense.
Totally. I get it, man.
And maybe I just don't remember correctly.
Did I miss something?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Be honest with you, like I said, it's very hard to focus on this movie. So that's like the backstory of the Lauder house, and it's now owned by Damon Lauder, and he wants to certify it fresh on the haunting scale so they can bring in some of that sweet Zach Baggins money.
Oh, yeah.
As an Airbnb. So he's got the Ace team in here, and they're gonna get in there and get to the bottom of it. Now Judith, the head of this A team of psychics, has devised herself a little contraption.
The vacuum.
That she calls it the vac. What it is it looked like one of those mobile ashtrays that you could screw the top on, but it had like a green flashing light on it, and it beeped a lot.
Yeah, it had like a Knight Rider kind of mouth on it,
yeah.
A couple of LEDs.
Some LEDs.
And it beeped.
So look out. And apparently the purpose of this little item is that it can entrap spirits and hold them, contain them. So,
if the spirit tries to pass from the ether through the physical medium, then this box, the vacuum, will basically electromagnetically suck it back into it, where you can go flush it down the toilet.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can throw
So it's basically like the Ghostbusters trap.
Yeah. Just not nearly as cool.
Yeah, you don't need a little
you need
foot pedal.
The foot thing to blast it. You need a trigger on that thing. Anyway, so she's got that. She's got it set up. She periodically moves it throughout the house to try to hide it. Now we're going to meet a bit of a tit-lurker, and his name is Elwyn. He was like Avery Lauder's stage assistant, and after Avery Lauder passed, he just kind of kept hanging around his house and became like a official groundskeeper kind of a dude. Played by Hal Halvin. You recognize him?
Only in name.
So
didn't recognize him physically, like his face or anything.
No, he doesn't look anything like he normally does. So many good movies, Jason.
Such as
Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bowl Around.
Yep, okay.
Night of the Demons.
Yep.
You'll know him as Stooge. Other movies that I'm sure I'm missing. He's a Kevin Tenney regular. He shows up in a lot of his movies. So he's kind of a creepy guy. He's got like a weird He-Man cut, and he doesn't look anything. You wouldn't recognize him as Hal Halvin. He's like, hey, I'm here to keep the grounds, and need help with your bags, sniff your panties. You need help with your bags. So the black guy and Linnea Quigley go out to get the bags. Hal goes out there to help him. While that's going on, the tour continues around the place. All kinds of creepy stuff. This is where we get like a kind of like a cathartic moment between Murphy and Vicente. And Murphy's like, "Hey man, I need you to not be such a cocksucker while you're here." And he's like, "Sorry, I'm just gonna do it anyway because I hate you and I hate everybody and I hate my life. So I'm a
cool guy and it's just what I can do.
I'm just gonna make everybody as miserable as possible while I'm here." Okay, perfect. You fucking asshole. And that's kind of where we also get the backstory of Vicente being like this tortured character, or at least he's supposed to be, because he got kicked off the police force, and now he's doing this dumb shit, and he's a bit of an alcoholic too, I think, and there's that.
And apparently a part-time comedian.
Not a very good one. Not a very good one. Not a Don Rickles type.
Nope.
Like to be, but not quite there yet. All right, so that's great. Now we're going to go into our first psychic session, and we've got all of our cameras and our recording things set up, and we've got our Felix, our doofus husband,
mental medium, and Whitney, our somewhat hot redhead, borderline dyslexic Irish physical medium. So we lower the lights, and we got Linnea Quigley on the cameras, and things are rocking and rolling, and hey, is there anybody in here that wants to talk to us? And then Felix gets all weird. I am Avery Lauder. Which his voice sounded so much better doing that voice
That's what
than
I'm saying.
his normal
His
voice.
normal kind of squeamish voice.
Yeah.
That like was the high point of that particular dude's acting. It felt like. Excuse me. So basically, he jumps into Felix and he's like, "I'm going to kill everybody here." And Judith is like, "No, you're not allowed to do that. I have a machine that will stop you." "No, I can do it if I want to." "No, you can't. Not with my machine."
Well, not right now.
"Well,
but,
I'm going to do it. I just got to... probably by midnight, 12:30, you'll all be dead. Maybe 1 o'clock. I don't know." "No, you can't do that because I have a machine and you're not allowed to do that." And then, like, that's when Felix, like, flops on the ground and goes into spasma.
And since Linnea Quigley is such an expert camera operator, just leaves the cameras pointing up.
Of course.
I mean, wouldn't you document the guy flopping around on the ground, getting a wallet shoved into his mouth?
I'm sure she got a nice angle of his shoes going, tip-tapping on the floor.
Well, you can watch her monitors.
Yeah.
And they're just always still up at, like, chair
move.
level.
Yeah, they don't move. She's not going to get up and move a camera.
No. Heaven forbid.
Flip-flopping, Vicente has to shove his wallet in Felix's mouth.
I was wondering why my mouth tasted like leather.
And then we get like a kind of bonding moment between Judith and Vicente where she's like, "I realized that you acted very quickly and I was pretty much useless. Thank you for saving my husband's life."
"Yes, you were, and yes, I did."
"Yes, you are useless." "Okay, we're all good then?" "Yeah, okay."
Shake hands.
Shake hands, goodbye. Oh, no. Okay, so that happens. Now it's naked time, Jason.
It is.
And we're going to kick things up with the Kevin Tenney floating cam. It's now out and loose in the house, so look out. Nobody can see it, whatever it is, but it's floating around.
But if this thing is supposed... This is what I don't get. So, if this thing can only manifest itself through the physical medium, why wouldn't you keep the vacuum near the physical medium? Because they left that fucking box running all night.
Of course.
Or day, whatever it is. But, like, leave it near her. Because, like, she's the only place that should be able to, like, kind of come into this world.
Makes sense. See what you're doing?
Have her walk around with it.
You see what you're doing?
Yeah, I do.
You're thinking about stuff.
I know.
Stop thinking about stuff.
Don't form sentences ending with a question mark.
We're talking about Witchtrap.
Sorry.
For Christ's sakes. I mean, if he can only manifest through the physical medium, then how is he about to punch a fucking shower head through Linnea Quigley's throat?
Well, apparently he has already skipped past the one rule.
No. There are no rules here. We're just making shit up as we go, Jason. So that's what happens. We do get to see Linnea Quigley naked for a few seconds, and she gets in there and takes her clothes. She's taking a shower. Wildly unnecessary, though, in the middle of the day.
Her contractually bound shower.
Shower scene, nakedness. She gets in there, and the shower fixture just punches right out of the wall and rams right through her throat. And that is your first kill of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I was hoping Linnea would last a little bit longer because, you know, she might bang somebody or something like that. That was not to be.
Well, at least she got naked for you before
did.
She checked out.
Of course. I mean, when she shows up, any time previous to like 1999, you knew she was going to get naked.
Sure.
So there it is. She's dead. Sad to see her go. Nobody knows she's dead yet, though. So now we all kind of are still trying to look at the footage, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. But just before she got naked, though, old fucking Elwyn was outside tit-lurking.
Tit-lurking like a motherfucker.
Tit-lurking, and he got busted red-handed by Jackson, the black guy. So Jackson's like, "Hey, you mother!" And then he does like a body slam off the top rope.
It's off the top rope.
we don't know. Flying elbow. You interrupted my tit-lurking. We don't really see what happens after that, except like 15 minutes later, Jackson comes walking back into the house. And he's like, "Huh, I saw Elwyn tit-lurking out the window. I'm going to go check on Linnea." So he goes running.
Doesn't he draw his gun to go up there?
Did you notice how small the handguns were?
I didn't.
They were like...
I know one of them's fairly large. The one that, fast forward, guy's like cleaning it.
When they first got there, they all pulled out these tiny little
pew pew
pew pew pew kind of guns. I don't think they were real. I think they got them at like Toys R Us or something. Anyway, he goes running up to check on Linnea. Of course, she's dead in the shower. So he's like, "Oh shit, she dead!" Goes running downstairs, tells everybody that she's dead. Now we have a problem. So the plan is, of course, there's no phone service here at the Lauder house. The plan is the black guy is going to jump in the car, go hauling ass out of there to go get the cops. Everybody else is locking themselves down in their bedrooms.
Including the head of security.
Yeah. Well, he sends Vicente out to like do a security patrol.
Yeah, but keep a motherfucker walking the halls of the house, you know?
Yeah, that's the plan. Well,
I mean, you've got 15 guns in your duffel bag.
And they're all the size. They're all like the
You're
size
the head of a security
dinner
force.
Spoons. I don't know. It makes sense. I don't know. But he's like, okay, well, everybody go lock yourselves in your rooms and be careful and don't come out because things are getting serious. Now, here's what we are going to come to understand. Every time somebody gets killed in this movie, the redhead, Whitney O'Shea, has like a wild orgasm.
Mm-hmm,
There's a lot of thrashing around and sweating and
very blood beat.
Very, very blood beat. Oh God, yeah. And then as soon as the death is over, she's like, "Whoa, that was intense. What happened there?" So that happened while Linnea was getting choked out in the shower. Now the black guy goes out, gets in the car, hauls ass, makes it to the gate, and the gate is closed. So he's like, "God damn it!" Gets out. He's like looking at the gate. It's locked. The car pops itself into drive and runs the black guy over, and now he's dead.
The car pops itself into drive and reverse and drive.
Yeah, it does a couple laps on the black guy, unfortunately.
It's doing like 3-point turns.
Yeah.
It's parallel parking.
Really. And it's got that scene that I love from a lot of the 80s movies where the guy lays flat and you get the camera zoom as he just lays there. And he goes, "Ah!"
Oh, that's great.
It's silly. Don't move. If a car is running at you, your best bet is just to yell it away.
Yeah, yell it.
Do not move.
Talk sense into it.
I'm telling you what. So he is now out of the equation. Terrible, terrible tragedy. There's a lot of like bickering between Judith and her husband. She wants him to do another session. He's like, "No, it's too dangerous." She goes and tries to convince Whitney to do another session. She's like, "I think that God doesn't want me to do that right now. I think you should anyway because we're talking about science and there's no room for God in science." Blah, 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 blah. Eventually, this part is particularly stupid. The head of security is cleaning his guns. Here comes Floaty Cam. And one of the bullets levitates up out of the bullet box, spins around while the head of security is staring at it, and just goes right through his forehead.
Yeah, he tried to stare it away.
That's what it was. That's not coming from me. That's going to somebody else. Oh, no, it was me. Boom. And this one lonesome non-fired bullet goes right through his head and blows his brain out. There wasn't like a
Ghosts
bang.
can throw bullets very fast.
And accurately.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good shot for a thrown bullet. All right, that's pretty scary. So at this point, we're down to Judith, Whitney, her husband, and Vicente. So that's what's happened. Judith comes out, and she runs into Vicente, who's doing like his security patrol. They go up and check out they're like checking the windows and all that shit, hoping that the black guy made it out. They don't know if he's dead yet. We get another big backstory, and Judith is like, "I don't think this is going to work out because God said that we're probably all going to die here, and God is scary, but I think he's going to protect me." And then Vicente's like, "Hey, I saw a 12-year-old prostitute once. There is no God."
With a $200 a day habit.
With a $200 a day habit, which is really... If she can keep that, that's impressive for a 12-year-old. I mean, she should probably look at
putting in work.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid work ethic, if nothing else. He's back and forth with the God versus logic versus science. Make a long story short, Felix, the mental medium, agrees begrudgingly to let his wife put him in the trance or whatever to do another session. Now, last time he was in the session, when he came out of his weird wallet-eating spaz attack, he was like, I think there's something important in the basement. Let's go look around the basement. They didn't find shit. This time, he does it again because he's like, oh, I'm pretty sure there's something in the basement. So, one thing that I didn't mention.
No, the first time they did find something.
Did
He's like, there's something important in the basement. They go to the basement, they find a rock with a pentagram. The second time, they're missing the ashes in the urn.
Right.
And they need the ashes to reunite with the heart, because in behind that rock with the pentagram is supposed to be the dead guy's heart.
Right.
And if you can reunite the heart with the ashes, you can banish him forever.
Okay. I thought he needed to reunite the heart with the ashes because then he can manifest in the physical realm again.
Well, if you want to jump ahead,
I mean, that's where I was.
He doesn't need it because he ends up manifesting with no heart.
Right. Oh, shit, you're right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, what I was getting at is that there's a part where after Lene is dead, she left her camera rolling.
Yeah.
And periodically we get this ghosty, beardy guy
running,
coming into the room with the fireplace, and above the fireplace is a hearth, and on the hearth is an urn which holds his ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll come in and he'll kind of do like spirit fingers at the urn.
Well, but the vacuum was near it, so it spooked him away.
So then he's like, "Ooh!"
Yeah, there's a big continuity error with those little camera monitors.
Just
like a monstrous.
Just nothing makes sense in this fucking movie. Anyway, so Felix agrees to one more session because he thinks that when he comes out of it, he'll have an idea where the ashes are. She puts him in, and this time Avery Lauder comes in. He's like, I've got my heart, and now I'll get my ashes, and then I can manifest through your physical medium. And she's like, we're going to send the physical medium away so you can't get her, and we're going to find your ashes also, and I think we already know where your heart is, so we can just not do this anymore. And he's like, oh, well, I'll just kill this guy instead. And then Felix goes, and then his head explodes. Goodbye, Felix. Sorry for that.
Wallet ain't going to save you now.
It ain't happening. And kaboom. From there, this is where Elwyn starts showing back up. And he is now attacking Vicente because Vicente wants to get Whitney out of the property. So he's like, Elwyn shoots the gas tank in the van, which blows it up. That's what happened, man. All those 80s vehicles just blowing up left and right. All it took was like a good scratch somewhere near about the gas tank opening.
Loose proximity.
Kaboom! I think they were secretly transporting explosives in there. And
bricks of C4 right behind the gas cap.
If the paranormal thing didn't work, they were going to start a terror cell, Jason Harrell. So that's what happened. Now they're kind of on foot. Vicente is trying to escort Whitney off the property, so that thus removing the physical medium and keeping Avery from being able to manifest, I guess. So when they just happen to have a backup Griswold station wagon a couple feet away. So he gets her in that. She goes peeling off, runs through the gate, takes off out into town. She thinks she's going to run over Avery Lauder for a second because he's standing in the middle of the road. Is it just me, or was it the exact same bad guy from Witchboard?
What, Avery Lauder?
Avery Lauder and Malcador, or Malfador.
Mouth Vader.
Mouth Vader. They looked exactly the same, did they not?
I can't remember what he looks like in Witchboard.
Big guy, beard.
I definitely remember what he looked like in this one.
It's the same dude.
Because it never came off as menacing.
It's the tall man with a beard is what it is. That's what you're looking at. And maybe a little bit better of a hairline. She thinks she's going to run him over, but then he disappears and she almost runs headlong into a truck. And then she veers off the road and manages to find a police station. She goes running into the police station, and when she opens the door, boom, she's right back in the basement. And she's like, oh my God, you tricked me. You put an illusion in my head to make me think I was outside, but I was actually inside the whole time. Now I'm back in the basement. What am I going to do? Oh no.
Now, at this point, has the flying knife pinned Vicente to the to the wooden beam.
That's what was going on while she was thinking she was making her big escape. He was in the basement trying to find the heart, I think, or the ashes. I don't know.
I don't recall.
And here comes the flying thing that pinned him by his shirt.
Yep.
Not his wrist.
No, just his shirt.
Didn't go into his heart and kill him.
Was stuck because he couldn't get the knife out. Could have just taken the shirt off.
Taken the shirt
Could
off.
have ripped the
Could have
shirt.
ripped it. Fuck this shirt.
Could have cut it on the knife that was holding it.
You know what it was,
That
man?
knife will go back and replace itself on the pegboard later on.
I hope it cleans itself up first. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to use that for like culinary purposes, you're going to have some germs on there. But what it was that thing we had in the 80s with all the loose cannon cops where they would show up wearing like a dingy sweatshirt but still had their gun strap on.
Yeah.
That's what he was rocking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about this job, but I will still blow your face off if
Sure.
I feel like it. And he clearly didn't want to rip his dingy sweatshirt because, you only have so many dingy sweatshirts. So yeah, and then he gets out, and then how does Judith get killed? I remember it was pretty silly.
Is that the main
Yeah.
lady that coordinated this whole thing?
Yeah.
Let's
Didn't she
see.
get exploded or put on fire or something like that?
Oh boy. Wow.
It was pretty grandiose.
I can't remember.
I remember that. I was like, oh, I didn't think she was going to go out like that.
Yeah, I really can't remember how she died.
I remember it was in the basement. I think like he gave her the laser eyes or something like that. So it was something silly, and then like her whole body exploded or something like that.
Don't recall.
But from there, like, okay, now we got to move quick. We got we found the heart was in like this box, and then we got the ashes in the urn, so we got to get out of here. Unfortunately, Lauder has possessed Whitney, and apparently all she has to do is go down and drink the ashes, like just chug them, which is completely gross. And then all of a sudden,
it's like worse than the cinnamon challenge.
I couldn't keep it down. I'm just watching that go. Vicente goes down. He's like, "Hey, we got to go, Whitney," and then she turns around, and unfortunately, this time it's not Tawny Katane in cosplay. She goes full transformation into Malfador or Lauder.
Right.
And big guy, beard, he's like, now I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to unleash my darkness on the world. So he puts a little bit of an ass whipping on Vicente. Eventually Vicente figures it out, and he just shoots the piss out of the box with the heart in it, not unlike what happened at the end of Witchboard. And then Lauder kind of bursts into green flames and melts himself because he was clearly made out of wax to begin with.
Very much so.
And once he melts down to like a skull and carcass, then Whitney kind of crawls out of the skull and carcass, and then that's pretty much the end of your movie.
It is.
What did you think of Witchtrap, Jason Harrell?
Gonna blow your mind right here.
You gave it 6 stars.
I gave it a 5. I scored it a 4 originally.
How does this one get a 5?
Then I got to thinking. This movie actually became something quite quickly that most movies fell at. This was a so bad it's good.
I get it. I get
like
that.
This you can rewatch this because it is horrible.
It is terrible.
But in a very delightful way. Like I would much rather watch like this good bad movie than like Neil Bog or what is it?
Goblin 2.
Goblin 2.
Okay.
So ultimately, I mean, I ended up liking it. But let's recap some of the highlighted quips.
Okay.
Through this movie. Let's see.
These are all some of Vicente's greatest
various
hits.
characters.
Sure.
I haven't had this much trouble swallowing something since my mom tried feeding me okra. Boy, I'll tell you, they're gut busters.
Well.
Let's see. I'm going to find that overgrown abortion and give him a .38 caliber enema. You are a real Neanderfuck. Let's see. Felix, you're wounded. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Thanks for the emote.
Right.
We have the Hunchback of Lauderhouse out there. whatever he was, he's sludge meat now. Who writes this? Sludge meat.
Kevin Tenney, obviously.
Man. And I watched our friend Elwin take more lead than a number 2 pencil.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. That and other gems
Hot
can be
stuff.
found by watching this movie.
Hot stuff right there, Jason.
We should write all this and just take it on the road.
Absolutely.
I think we could be at the Apollo in no time.
3.5-minute act.
Just so many awful insults and one-liners, but I don't know. I ended up having a lot of fun watching it.
There was one that came to mind while you were reading that. He said something funny or mildly offensive to his boss, Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
And Murphy said, "Hey, I resent that." And he said, "I resent your mom taking drugs while she was pregnant with you." Just let that seep in.
Yeah. There was another one where he told his boss that he missed like the final stage of evolution.
Yeah.
And I think that tied into the "you're a real Neanderfuck." I'm like, this guy really likes prehistoric humor.
He does. He's a bit of a paleontologist on the side. It's bad, man. It's a bad movie. Is it so bad it's good? Jason says yes. I suppose it might be. I suppose if I were to watch this again under the pretense of knowing that it's that bad, and I've never seen this before until yesterday.
I've never seen it.
And I was not prepared for this level of non-acting.
Yesterday, I tried to start watching it. I got about 5-7 minutes into it. I'm like, I can't do this. Then today, threw it on there and
powered through.
Dude, I mean, I was locked in. That's why I'm like actually surprised I can't remember how the one lady died, because I actually like paid attention to this thing.
So did I. I took notes, for Christ's sakes. I remember it being grandiose. I think her head popped or spun around or something.
I think it has, I mean, because I've seen Witchboard a lot, and I think it has more rewatchability than Witchboard.
This would be a party movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like you could sit there, drink, laugh, and just rip on this. Like every time you see a continuity error shot, every time there's some like half-assed attempt at a Paleozoic insult, double shot.
Double shot. You're going to be hammered in no time. All right, Jason. Let's take us a little break and we'll come back with some other stuff.
Let's do.
Lock the doors, drop the blinds, keep quiet.
Hey inmates, if you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we are back, Jason Harrell.
We are.
Tell you what.
Tell me.
It's a bit of a tired trope. The paranormal team going in to investigate the house, getting killed off. We've seen it thousands of times. But have we seen it with Linnea Quigley?
No. Well, just this once.
So far, this month. We're probably going to see it again this month. But it's not a paranormal team. It's a bunch of kids partying.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it's a tired trope, I think it's a successful formula. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some scares in there. I mean, even right up to The Conjuring, same thing. Nobody got killed, but still, they got fucked with pretty good.
Yeah.
They go in there, ghosty shit, very creepy, and then they either fix it or they all die.
And yet here we are, just hoping and praying that Zach Nutsack Baggins gets taken out by some entity. Nope. Another season of Ghost Adventures
Absolutely.
Coming your way.
And I will pre-order the Blu-rays. Right on, man. Are you ready to get into the Terra Dome?
Yep.
Let's do it.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. My worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Terra Dome.
First, last week's winner, Jason. Team's competition, we had the Brides of Dracula versus the Xenomorphs. The village was silent still. Carcasses of humans and aliens alike littered the forest floor. The brides, battle-scarred and weary, would find no nourishment here, as the hive had tainted the blood source. The taint was gone now, torn from the Carpathians, and the brides would find sustenance elsewhere. We have a winner of 9-5. It is the Brides of Dracula over the Xenomorphs.
There it is.
There it is. You can't kill which is already dead. You can burn it. If they could draw the fight into the daylight, that might be their only chance, I feel.
Or get opposable thumbs and start wielding stakes.
Stakes, that could be a thing. I don't think a Xenomorph is going to figure that out, though. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, they're kind of dumb.
They are.
They're scary as shit. And savage, they'll fuck you right up. But, like, avoiding a, a smelting press in Alien 3? No. Run right in there.
Thanks for that reminder.
No, it wasn't that bad. Stop it right now.
It's not that good.
Had Charles S. Dutton in it.
Oh, The Rock sells me.
He's not The Rock, he was Rock.
Oh, sorry.
And that was a damn good show, Jason. Let's take a look at this week's matchup, shall we, my friend? We are in the Asylum Conference, round 10. As usual, inmates, bear with me. I'm not much of a writer and usually can't read my own handwriting. They were lost. Admitting it was painful, but very true. Too many highways and byways, back roads and inroads, cutting through the West Virginia wilds. Now they were out of gas, running out of daylight, and thoroughly lost. With very little options, the 6 of them continue on foot. The forest probably wasn't a bad idea. The auspicious occasion made it safe for them to be as far away from people as possible. Not for their own safety, but for everyone else's. The scents of a town hit their lupine senses from a breeze out of the northeast. They follow the scent until buildings can be seen through the trees. The full moon illuminates a signpost reading, "Welcome to Silent Hill." They were hoping for a telephone or a tow truck, maybe some directions back to the interstate. What they found was a ghost town. It was too late. The change was coming soon, and so was an air raid siren. In teams competition, we have werewolves versus the Silent Hill nurses. Jason, what do you think of that?
Oh, boy. Got to go werewolves.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I have to agree with you on that.
Even with the noise factor.
I mean,
they just have agility, speed, and power.
They're natural predators. You know, the nurses are scary.
Sure.
But wolves generally don't frighten. You know what I'm saying? They either attack or they don't attack.
Yeah, I mean the best they got really is stabbing repeatedly and stuff.
They do have weapons, the nurses.
Yeah, but I mean I don't think that can overcome.
I don't think they can
the ferocity.
The
furious.
I will now
rage.
make up a word to describe the situation.
Yes,
I don't think
that is ferocity and furious.
Curiosity. Look out!
I just don't think they could overcome
everything
that werewolves have going for them.
No, I think they attack too fast. The nurses are sexy and scary as shit. I don't want to tangle with a nurse. If I had to choose which one of these customers I'm going to run into in a dark alley, I think I'd rather the werewolf because I know he's going to kill me quick and I'll bleed out very quickly, as opposed to the nurse who may just follow me for a couple blocks.
Right.
Doing that jerky thing. You know, she might have a syringe, one of those bone saw things. I don't know. That's scary shit. I don't want it. But as far as which one's going to win a fight, I got to go with the werewolves.
There it is.
That is your Terror Dome matchup for the weekend, mates. It's werewolves versus Silent Hill nurses. Get us your votes by next week. Mental health hotline is area code 775-387-0275, or the regular old email is thepaddedroom2011@hotmail.com. While you're contemplating that matchup, my friends, we're going to tell you what movies we got to watch this week in a little segment called "What Are You Looking At?"
What are you looking at?
So again, in lieu of my no rewatch challenge, I'm running through some of my favorites before I give them up for the new year.
Mm-hmm. All Dude Actions, parts 1 through 40.
Oh, of course. But other than that, in the horror realm, Jason, I watched I Am Zozo from 2012.
Okay.
Did you ever get around to watching that?
No.
I don't know why I like this movie so much. It's not good. I think I just dig it. I don't know why. You know?
Yeah, I think I tried tried.
You failed.
Another one of your great recommendations.
You failed.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. I watched that. I watched Color Out of Space from 2019. You've seen that one. I know you have.
Did not finish it.
It's a good show. Very Lovecrafty. Goes into Thing realm. Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage as best he can. Flesh Eater from 1988. Have you seen that one? The Bill Hinsman classic. I think you just...
Oh, I bought the 4K of that.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
No.
Of course not.
No.
And lastly...
I'm a collector, not a watcher.
Yeah, why would you watch any of the movies that you buy?
Dude, I have a million movies I'm behind.
And what you do instead is just let Pluto TV run on a constant loop.
I'm busy.
How about No One Lives from 2012?
Yes.
Come on, man. Thank you. We're 1 out of 4. That's a great show.
I have seen about a third of Flesh Eater.
It's very silly.
Oh, it is.
It's pretty much a blatant knockoff of Night of the Living Dead with some tits. And it's 1980s schlock.
Were you happy with revisiting No One Lives?
I was, of course.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
Good flick.
I love it anytime there's a bad guy, but he gets confronted with some slightly other less than bad guys, and then he gets to turn up the bad guy on the other bad guys.
That's a lot of bad guys.
I love it. I love a bad guy on bad guy challenge. You know what I'm saying?
You love that bad guy on bad guy action.
Bad guy on bad guy action, my man. And I'll tell you right now, I'm gay for Luke Evans. I can't get enough of that dude. I said it. I'm man enough to admit it, Jason. You get to watch anything, Hot Dog?
I got to watch one thing. What was it? Oh, Lake Mungo.
Oh, yeah.
Because I couldn't, of course, remember if I had seen it or not. And I still don't think I've ever seen it. If I have seen it before, I must have been like dozing off a lot.
Was it in your database?
It was.
Huh.
It claims I've seen it, but I do not. I do not remember watching this.
Wow, what'd you think?
Normally, I remember once I start rewatching something.
I hate that.
It was okay. It was. I mean, it's pretty good. I don't think it was as good as I thought it was going to be.
It may carry a little extra weight for me because I watched it at work in the middle of the night in a industrial complex, completely alone by myself for miles.
Right.
So in that circumstance, that last, I don't know, 5-10 minutes when they're re-going through the footage and pointing out to you where she is,
Sure.
really freaked me the fuck out. Leading up to that, you've got like the dead doppelganger footage.
Yeah.
That was kind of creepy. The weird sex neighbor situation was kind of weird.
Yeah, it just wasn't hitting me for some reason. I mean, I was, actively watching it.
Right.
And really, like, paying attention and everything.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just wasn't hitting me the way it should, I guess.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right on.
Did you ever decide which version you were getting in the mail of that? You were trying to buy a copy.
Well, I tried to cancel it. I know I did buy a copy. And then after, like, you looked at it, you're like, hey, asshole, this is Region B, so
right.
You just fucked yourself. I was like, ah, shit. So I tried to cancel it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, no, they wouldn't let me cancel it, so it's still coming.
So you're still getting but it's region free.
That's what you say.
Well, that's what Blu-ray.com says.
Okay, that's what I'm hoping.
Even though it's like region whatever it's 4 or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be unlocked.
Okay, that's what I'm hoping for.
I bet you are.
As soon as it gets here, I'll drop some knowledge on you.
Okay, but you didn't accidentally order the other one also, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No. Well, I mean, the other one.
I didn't know if you were just going to have this influx of Lake Mungo coming into the house.
So awesome.
Yeah.
It's raining Lake Mungos in here. No, the other one was like $17. It was part of that. Remember that After Dark Horror Fest crap?
Yeah.
It was like the fourth run of that, the final run of that. And if I get that version, then I know I'm going to have to go out and find the rest of those movies.
Yeah.
And they're all crap.
Sure.
I guarantee it. That was the thing about those. They would put out 8 movies a year. One of them would be really good.
That's about one.
There would be like 2 or 3 who were like, all right, and the rest would be absolute bullshit. But like an asshole, because I had to...
That's like Tubi TV.
Yeah, I'm the completionist. I have to go buy them all, so now I'm down $60. And I've got a shelf full of bullshit over here. All right. How about some immersion therapy then, sir?
How about it?
Immersion therapy.
Life Changer from 2018, Jason.
Yes, sir.
This is one of these ones where I look at it and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. And then I start it, and 5 minutes in, I'm like, I've seen this fucking thing before. It's not a bad show. I didn't mind it at all.
I scored it a 6.
Yeah.
It's a very passive movie.
Yeah.
It's it's not necessarily like a slow burn. I mean, there's plenty enough going on.
Sure.
But it does have a slow pace, but it's not so heavy on horror.
It's almost more of a tragedy in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know what the description calls this guy thing a skinwalker.
Mm-hmm.
But basically his deal is that he has to absorb somebody every couple weeks or so in a very gruesome manner. And then he has to because he basically assumes them, and then he has to get rid of their dead body and kind of live their life until he can assume somebody else. The unfortunate part of that is that I guess it's a lonely existence because you can never get too close to anybody. And then, because if you do, you got to assume.
Yeah, I guess earlier on it lasted longer. You could form relationships, things like that. And then like it gets to a point where
he just starts rotting.
Yeah, now he can get a handful of hours out of a body.
Yeah.
But a pretty good movie. It's definitely worth watching. But it is a kind of it's kind of a depressing flick.
Yeah. Well, I didn't understand the end.
That last 5 minutes.
That was pretty.
Kind of irked me.
I don't know.
I also don't understand why he would even go to work.
I know, right?
If I'm only getting a day or two out of a body, I'm not pulling an 8-hour shift.
No, I'm just gonna fuck off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch your TV, rifle through your fridge, try to have sex with your wife, I think, or your husband. That could be a thing too. And then I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah,
and go inhabit somebody else.
Yeah, worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely original, if nothing else. Your immersion therapy for this week is going to be Horror in the High Desert from 2021. This is a found footage film streaming on Amazon Prime. Check that shit out, inmates. We'll do the same and compare notes next week. Now, unfortunately, you must educate me.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. I just got out of a really bad relationship in the worst possible way. I got to get the fuck out of this city that I live in and just be away from everything and try to rest and recoup. I'm going to get an Airbnb out here in the sticks, go for a walk in the woods, and apparently get followed home by a naked albino who's going to just kind of tit-lurk me in my own Airbnb while I'm on the phone. And then some really wacky shit is going to happen in my driveway later on in the movie. I am, of course, Men. Jason loved it. I could not get into it.
I did not say I loved it.
You want to love it.
I want to love it.
I don't know why.
But come on, man. Come on, man. It has a lot going for it.
Up until the last 5 minutes.
Up until that last probably 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that ending just goes on and on and on.
But I really, really like the remainder.
Okay. It's possible for a movie to get ruined by its ending.
Oh, yeah.
Case in point, Ghosts of War.
Well, even the movie we were just talking about. Fucking Skinwalker movie. That's how quick I flushed the title.
You just completely dumped it.
That movie's really good, but that last 5 minutes, it just kind of plops a turd.
I wouldn't say it ruined the whole movie for me. It did leave a lot of questions in what egg sack kind of a thing. I don't know.
But Men has a very drawn out what the fuck.
What the fuck is that all about?
Yeah.
All right, who might I be this week, you ask? I am a bit of a sex perv.
You're telling me.
I'm telling you right now. I've got a very unusual kink, and I live that kink out on the internet mostly. It's pretty bizarre and dangerous and could be possibly fatal. I really hope I don't run into another gentleman who has the exact counterpoint of that kink, which would be to victimize me, even though I kind of want to be the victim of this particular kink. And but if he's willing and I'm willing, and we can hook up at a bus station and go back to his place, then we could probably kink to the kinkiest. That's about all I can say without giving anything away.
Who are you?
I can't tell you.
Damn it.
Tune in next week and I'll drop some knowledge on the kinkiest kinkies. In the meantime, inmates, I think that's about going to do it for us this week. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next week for Night of the Demons here in Kevin Tenney Month, courtesy of Tom Hardy. If you feel like making a small contribution, go to paddedroompodcast.com, I think.
Support.paddedroompodcast.com.
I'm going to write that down. Support.paddedroompodcast.com. That's the link to our Patreon page. $5 donation gets you control of the month of December or... No, January.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
January. Alan actually has December. A Padded Room t-shirt, a Padded Room travel mug, possibly a Tit Lurker magnet, And I might throw you some of the porn that I have stashed away.
Geez.
I might. I can be coerced. Check that out if you feel like it, inmates. Anything you can do always helps us. Like, comment, subscribe. That helps our visibility. Drop us a line. Mental health hotline is area code 775-387-0275. Email is thepaddedroom2011@hotmail.com. Let us know if you know who I am or what movies you got to watch. Give us some movie recommendations. We're coming up on October. We need to refine our 31 for 31 lists. Let us know what's on your list. In the meantime, inmates, that's it for us. Monica in absentia, Buddy in absentia, sexy Mr. Jason Harrell in the house.
Very sexy.
Very sexy. Tit lurkers, naked guys in the woods, weird sex kink internet dudes who find other sex kink internet dudes for hookups to possibly hurt each other. Witch traps. Guys with beard, Malfador,
Mouth Vader,
and the Padded Room Podcast. I'm afraid visiting hours are over.
Bye.